You've been there, standing in your apartment, door still swinging shut behind her. There's that untouched glass of wine on the coffee table, sitting there like a symbol. She barely sipped it before giving you the same excuse again. I'm just really busy this weekend. You're holding your phone now, thumb hovering over her name, fighting every urge to text her. One more message, one more try to prove you're worth the time. Sound familiar? That ache in your chest? That's not confusion. That's clarity you're trying to ignore. You know deep down, you're being treated like an option, not a priority. I've seen this play out more times than I can count. A guy sitting across from me, checking his phone every 5 seconds mid-conversation, waiting for a text that never comes. She said she might let me know about tonight, he mutters, eyes glued to his screen. But we both know the truth. That's the 3rd time in 2 weeks she's left him hanging. The woman he's been seeing for months treats his time, his feelings, his attention, like they're disposable. And he's still holding on, hoping the next date, the next call, the next moment will mean more. So I asked him, "How long have you felt like an afterthought?" His face dropped. Too long. This kind of emotional weight, it's invisible to everyone else, but to you, it feels like a boulder on your chest at 2 a.m., while you reread her messages like they're ancient scrolls holding hidden meaning. If this sounds like your life, then what you're experiencing is more than confusion. It's a pattern of being undervalued, and recognizing it is the first step. Eventually, I'm going to walk you through 5 powerful, practical steps to detach, the only guide you'll ever need. But first, we need to be brutally honest about what's really going on. Being undervalued doesn't always show up as red flags. Sometimes it's more subtle, like she always has time for her job, her friends, her dog's birthday party. But your plans, they're maybe. You talk about your feelings, and she dodges the conversation. You share wins, and she offers a dry, nice, while scrolling through Instagram. Think about the last time you told her something that mattered. Did she really see you? Or did it feel like you were talking to a wall? I remember talking to a guy who'd just landed a promotion, something he'd worked toward for 3 years. When he shared the news, her response was, "That's nice," before shifting the convo to her friend's new apartment. That wasn't love, that was indifference. And that moment, it broke him. But here's the paradox. That kind of clarity, it's painful, yeah, but it's also your doorway out. Because your attachment to her, it's not just about her, it's about what she represents to you. You're not chasing a person, you're chasing validation, a sense of worth, a belief that if she finally chooses you, it means you matter. But listen to me, and really hear this. You'll never get enough external validation to fix internal wounds. And I know this because I've watched too many people give everything to someone who treats them like they're replaceable. And that cycle, it didn't start with her. It started with how they saw themselves. This isn't about blaming her. It's about understanding the deeper story behind why you stay. You're not just holding on to a woman. You're holding on to a hope that maybe this time she'll see your value. Maybe this time she'll finally show up for you. But while you're holding out for a breakthrough, you're bleeding self-respect in silence. Let's get brutally honest. What's the real cost of staying? Every hour you spend overthinking a text that never came is an hour stolen from your life. Every moment you spend justifying her actions is a moment you're betraying your own needs. Every time you let it slide, just this once, you teach yourself that your boundaries are negotiable. I once spoke to a guy who put it like this. I realized I wasn't living my life anymore. I was living in reaction to her. When she was affectionate, he was on top of the world. When she was cold or distant, his whole day unraveled. He had outsourced his entire emotional stability to someone who couldn't even show up consistently. That's not just draining, that's dangerous. So, how do you break free? Step 1. Confront your reality without filters. This is the part most people skip. You need to see the relationship exactly as it is, not how you wish it were. Write it down. Seriously. What are the repeated behaviors, the broken promises, the needs you voiced that have been ignored? One guy I know kept a daily log for 2 weeks, just bullet points of every interaction. At the end, he read it back and said, "It felt like someone punched me in the stomach." Seeing the pattern in black and white, it snapped him out of denial. Sometimes the truth isn't hidden. It's just something you've refused to admit. Step 2. Identify your emotional hooks. What's keeping you stuck? Is it the way she sometimes really listens to you? Is it those rare days when everything feels effortless and connected? Those moments are the hooks. They keep you hoping, waiting, chasing. I remember a guy telling me, "She's incredible when she wants to be." I keep thinking if I could just figure out how to keep her in that mood, every day could be like those days. But here's the trap. Those highs don't erase the lows. They just make you ignore the pattern. Hope becomes a drug, and withdrawal feels like grief. Step 3. Rebuild your foundation. Even before you walk away, or if you're still unsure, start focusing on you. Reconnect with friends you stopped seeing. Reignite hobbies you dropped to make yourself more available. Do things that make you feel alive without needing her involvement or approval. One guy joined a rock climbing group after months of sitting around waiting for her to text. At first it felt weird, he told me, like I was cheating on the relationship or something. But then I realized I was finally around people who were actually excited to see me. When your world becomes rich and full on its own, your need for external validation starts to shrink. Step 4. Set and honor boundaries. This isn't about giving ultimatums, it's about drawing lines that reflect your self-worth. Decide what you will no longer tolerate. Maybe you won't drop everything anymore when she suddenly decides she's free. Maybe late-night texts don't get a reply unless they come with real effort. Maybe a canceled plan without follow-up isn't something you excuse anymore. You communicate the boundary once. After that, let your actions speak. Respect for your boundaries might change the dynamic, or it might reveal that the relationship isn't meant to continue. Either outcome moves you closer to peace. Step 5. Practice emotional detachment. This is the real muscle. Not coldness, not bitterness, but presence. Calm presence. It means when the anxiety hits because she hasn't replied, you don't spiral, you breathe through it. When your mind starts replaying her last words looking for clues, you gently redirect. And when you feel that itch to reach out just to check in, you pause and sit with the discomfort instead of trying to escape it. This isn't about ignoring your emotions, it's about not being ruled by them. One guy told me his breakthrough moment came in the middle of doing absolutely nothing. I caught myself obsessively checking if she'd read my message. Then I stopped, asked myself, what would I be doing right now if she wasn't on my mind? He put the phone down, cooked dinner, and watched a movie. He said, "It was small, but I felt free. For the first time in months." And that's the secret. Those small moments stack. They build momentum. And eventually, that emotional storm you used to drown in starts to pass without pulling you under. But what if detachment isn't enough? What if, even after all this, the relationship still feels like walking on broken glass? Here's how you know when it's time to walk away. When your boundaries are ignored or treated like an inconvenience. When connection becomes rare, strained, or one-sided. When you're emotionally exhausted more often than not. When your body knows, before your mind catches up, that nothing's going to change. Walking away isn't quitting, it's reclaiming yourself. One man told me, "I didn't even recognize peace anymore. Every day was some kind of waiting, worrying, or recovering from a letdown. That wasn't love, that was survival." Leaving a relationship that diminishes you opens the door to relationships that nourish you. And whether you've created distance or fully let go, your healing doesn't stop there. Rebuilding after detachment. Start with your story. Reclaim it. What did this experience teach you? How did it reveal parts of you that need love from you? Realign with your values. What do you want to prioritize now? What will you no longer tolerate? Forgive yourself, not just for staying too long, but for believing that staying longer would somehow fix it. That wasn't weakness. That was hope, and hope is human. Most importantly, be patient with your healing. I remember someone sharing this. 6 months after I walked away, I realized I'd gone an entire day without thinking about her. It hit me while cooking dinner. I stopped and just smiled. That was my moment. Yours will come too, and when it does, celebrate it. A new definition of value. As you rebuild, you'll start redefining what it means to be valued, not in flowers or big apologies, but in presence, consistency, mutual curiosity, shared effort. The kind of love that sees you fully, respects your boundaries, and shows up not just on good days, but especially on the hard ones. The counterintuitive truth. Here's what most people don't realize until they've lived it. Detaching from someone who doesn't value you, it's not about them. It's about your relationship with yourself. You start learning how to honor your own needs, protect your peace, choose yourself without guilt. And those skills, they ripple into every relationship you'll ever have. There will be days when you'll miss them, days when the comfort of familiarity tries to drag you back. That's okay. Just remember this. You can't receive the love you deserve while clinging to the love you don't. Your path forward. If you're still watching, still listening, still here, that means you've already started the journey. Awareness is the first shift. Discomfort? That's your soul growing. That's your future self asking you to expand beyond what no longer fits. So, tomorrow, do one thing that honors your worth, one thing that centers you. It could be saying no without guilt, going for a walk without checking your phone, laughing with friends without mentally clocking out. Whatever it is, choose it, fully. And when you do, you're no longer just chasing value. You're living it. And that version of you, that's the one who no longer has to prove his worth because he walks in it. The journey of detachment is never just about losing someone else. It's about finally finding yourself.